Hello, and welcome to another session of Recent Thoughts, the show where I talk about inner conflicts, general overall talks, topics, feelings, whatever comes to my mind for about 15 minutes. Today's topic is a very interesting one and suggested by Hunter Magnuson. Thank you for the comment and thank you for the suggestion. It's about work-life balance. And I feel like I do have a lot to say about it, since I've been thinking of how to balance out that for a very long time. So yes, feel free to put me, as always, into the background. This is a nice chill podcast, and if you have anything you want me to talk about, feel free to comment that down below. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and get notified to see my videos when they come out. Right, I have my timer on standby for 15 minutes, and it's gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go. So let me start off by saying I am not going to have a good work-life balance in the future. For those people that don't know a lot of English, work-life balance is essentially the time you balance out working at a job and then having free time for generally just living and enjoying the things you enjoy. What I think is work-life balance is as important as actually having work and life. And free time. I feel like if you have too much work, you're gonna get burned out. If you have too little work and too much life, you're gonna get a burnt out from life. And I've actually had that. I don't know if anybody feels that way. I'm currently 20 years old, but this happened all the way through high school. When vacation hits, right, you're so happy that you don't have school anymore, you don't have homework, you don't have any exams that you need to do or anything that you need to turn in. Then you're like, oh yeah, I am going to enjoy the hell out of this vacation. I'm going to play 24/7. I'm going to chill with my friends. And then vacation hits, and you get bored of it in a week, and you have 2 months to go. Partially that's because of the attention span of a goldfish that people have nowadays, because of some, like, I would say apps like TikTok and Shorts and Instagram and everything like that, right? But a lot of people, and me included, got very, very bored in like a week or 2 or 3 into vacation. And there sure as hell might be people that will still enjoy the hell out of vacation, even if it's 2, 3, 4 months. But for me right now, it's essentially the same. So university vacation works a little differently than vacation in school. It's still free time, and you still have a whole lot of free time. But on the other hand, you have more options to do something, because, for example, for me, I have 2 months of vacation in university, but I actually succeeded to fill that time up with literally anything to do, right? 2 weeks of those 2 months I spent on vacation. I flew to a Greek island called Corfu with my buddies, and we had a very fun time there. And then the next 6 weeks after that, I had my internship in court. A court in a different city, but I had 6 weeks of an internship where I would, from day to day, show up and look at the look at cases and stuff like that, and be in the actual room with the judge and stuff. And so that was very fun, and the rest of the time I was very preoccupied recording this this podcast, and streaming and recording a bunch of different stuff. I've recently gone into like full-on editing. I have a Fiverr page actually where people can commission my editing. I have a person, very talented content creator called Hexy Music, who I edit podcasts for, and it's very fun to do so. It's a nice way to kill off time. I've found ways to kill the rest of the time by, for example, starting a book to read. I need to go into reading because my vocabulary sucks ass, and I need that for law school. So, or even studying, right? So I've found a lot of stuff to kill the time. But if you don't have anything going on, and if you just have like 2 months of just having free time, I don't think that many people will enjoy it. And, you know, there's whole memes, as I said, about high schoolers going into the first week of vacation and just having a blast, having the time of their lives, and then the second, third, fourth week or something like that, they get bored as hell and want school again. And the moment where you have school, you want vacation again. And it works the same with the work-life balance. I think the balance is incredibly important, and it's going to be very fucked for me. I'm sorry for cursing. It's gonna be very bad. I remember when I was working in a law firm as a secretary. I was talking to one of the colleagues of my boss, and she is a lawyer too. And she said, yeah, us lawyers, we don't have a very good work-life balance. And it makes sense, because if there's like lawyers, they work independently, right? They work by themselves. They don't have a boss to boss them around. And so essentially the way it works is the more you work, the more money you will make. And, you know, it makes sense, right? But for example, if you're going into criminal law and you work for, like, you're a defending lawyer, right? In court, well, I mean, at least in German, in American courts, is you have a prosecution and you have a defense if you're going to like criminal cases. I can't speak for American courts and American jurisdiction because I don't exactly know a lot about that, but I can talk about German jurisdiction. We don't have prosecution, we only have defense, and the prosecution is a state, right? But the problem with that is, you as a criminal, like a lawyer in criminal law, you can be called up to defend a client whenever the state decides, right? You can be on Ibiza, on wherever. You can be in America, right? Just enjoying your time, having vacation, and then suddenly somebody calls you, is like, hey yo, this guy and that guy, he got into prison, you have to defend him now. So either you get your ass over to Germany, or you're gonna get your lawyer's license stripped away from you. So sometimes it's involuntary, but most of the times it's, how much do I work in order to get the amount of money I would like to get, but also balance out the way I live. And you can imagine that lawyers, like, so many people have the expectation of lawyers just having a bunch of free time and being good at everything, which is obviously not the case. And I'll have massive problems with balancing that. I know that for sure. I haven't gotten that down, but I know for sure that it's incredibly important to do. Because, like, I've said it from a life perspective. If you have too much of free time, you're gonna get bored of it, and you're just gonna feel bad. But from the other side, if you overwork yourself, that might be incredibly damaging to, you know, your work style, your work overall. And like, even coming from a content creation perspective, I remember back when I was in my TikTok prime, right, when I was doing the duets, I was trying to make as many episodes as possible, and the problem with the TikTok duets, and the problem with, for example, me launch padding way back in the day on the other channel called Abrix, is that you have to have such a creative impulse, such a massive creative impulse to make anything good. Sometimes the phase inversion method that I use for creating those TikTok duets also don't work. And so I have to throw a whole project into the trash bin. And I remember sitting like hours above hours working on this, where I felt like, okay, I could just enjoy my time. And I could not do that. And I felt very burnt out. And so the big danger of working too much is getting burned out and having no motivation to do that. And it's incredibly dangerous when you have studied for that job or that activity, right? As in, for example, like me in law school, and then you feel burnt out, and then you have the problem of not making enough money, and that's problematic. That's why I feel like at home jobs, right? How's it called? Home office is very dangerous for the work-life balance. It's because essentially your mind goes like, okay, either I work right now, I have free time, but I could work more. But I have free time, but I could work more. I could make money, so I could work more. So I'm going to work more until 2 a.m., have no life whatsoever. Or the complete other way around. I'm at home, so I could just chill and watch a couple of Netflix series. Or episodes, sorry. I'm going to watch another episode. And so that just procrastinating and not getting done with anything at all is incredibly damaging. And it's bad. It's bad. So you definitely have to balance out the work. And as I said, I haven't really pinned that down. But what I can for sure tell you, Hunter, is that for me, the best way to have a good work-life balance is to separate the spheres. Let me just elaborate on that. That sounded very stupid. So the way I do it is I have a work sphere and a free time sphere, right? You can think of that not as metaphorically, like metaphorical spheres, rather physical spheres. My suggestion would be to strictly have them be apart, right? So the way I do it right now is I try to study as little as possible at home, because I know at home my brain turns off and goes into this like chill mode, free time mode and whatever, and I let my brain chill at home essentially. And when I want to study, I drive to university, and for example, I just sit down in the library and study, right? I'm trying to keep the two spheres apart from each other as much as possible, and that doesn't always work, because sometimes some days I'm just stuck at home, and it's very hard for me to study at home, because nowadays I just think, oh yeah, home equals chill time, which is why I stay at university fairly late in the day, say like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and then I come home, and then for me it's just like, okay, I have free time. And that made me, like, it made me work so much more efficient. Incredibly more efficient, in fact. And I'm kind of enjoying studying that way. Obviously, you know, for every other different person, it's a different different method, different structure of how to balance out work and life. But that's how I found I could balance my work-life ratio out the best way, is to just keep them apart. I work at one place, I chill at another place. And having a structured workflow and a structured free time, that's structured free time, is incredibly important too. I love plans. I love doing, like, pulling out a piece of paper, or like in my case, I just do it in Google Calendar, because it's nice. It notifies you, and I'm like, okay, I have a doctor's appointment there. I want to study this and this at that time, so I'm gonna make a date for this. Blah 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 blah. And then, okay, look, I have about 3 hours to 4 hours of free time right here, so I can sleep out. I can enjoy my series, whatever the hell. And I love this. I love having a structured life, because if you have structure in your life, you're gonna have structure in everything else. You're gonna have structure in work, because, like, okay, for example, I come to university at 8 a.m. and I want to study until 4, because that's about 6 hours. No, it's less, but like, it's about the time I want to spend today, and I want to do that and that and that and that and that time. Sometimes it doesn't work, but just having that structure and that consistency is incredibly important for the work lifestyle. Right. I see we are officially out of time. Let me just stop the clock. I feel like I've missed out a bit on the lifestyle and not on the work ratio style, so I'm very sorry for that, Hunter. But I hope you did enjoy this episode. I hope you could relate a bit, and I could make you feel better about work-life balance and how to do stuff. As always, thank you for listening. If you have anything you want me to talk about, just post it down in the comments. Feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and get notified, and I will see you in the next session of Recent Thoughts. Goodbye.